Watch your comments. Watch your commentary. I'm asking friend of the show, Randy, about this Ole Miss coaching nonsense.
About the announcement they're supposed to have.
Yeah. Like he's taking his talents to South Beach. Like, what are we doing with this? Why is this so theatrical?
Yeah, but it's like Ole Miss said they're making the announcement. It's weird, right?
I know.
It sounds like he's going somewhere else, because I imagine if he was going to stay there, they just would have been like, hey.
He's leaving a team that he got to the college football playoff, essentially, which is the crazy part.
I mean, is he going to LSU or is he going to Florida?
It's going to be LSU.
That makes sense, right? That'll be the bigger school.
The crazy thing to me is Ed Orgeron's going to be on his staff. The Raging Cajun. I don't know that name. He's lighting me up about it now. I don't know that name.
All I know is I sent you a photo with my bathroom fan with the Ole Miss tape. It's still on there.
Where is that at?
No, that photo I sent you is in the upstairs bathroom. One that somebody had put in the fan.
Is it on Discord?
I don't remember where I sent it to you in text or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 375 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and free audio recording software recommendation podcast. That's right. This is mostly run off of free stuff. You've probably not noticed any issues the past couple weeks. It was all in the back end. You get what you pay for, as I was telling Cesar and Brandt in the pre-show. We think we have a good solution. Don't worry about this. Just know Audacity is a great partner. OBS is a great free partner. Audacity is a great free partner. VLC Player is a great free partner. SoundCloud is a paid service. They've been a great partner. And now our two various voice recording bots on our Discord server are great free partners. I guess I need to let friend of the show Michael know, since he's been using Craig as well.
Yeah, if he encounters the same issue.
Yeah, have you had any issues with this thing? I have 2 actual legit games acquired with my nonsense too. Don't let me forget that. This week's news: questionable Kirby designs removed? ? Fans revive Concord. Brant, if you need a physical copy, it may or may not have duplicate of Concord. We're gonna play some Concord. This is what we talk Buish into. Buy a copy of Concord on eBay. Get a PS5, pop it in, let's play. There was an Xbox partner showcase, or there's one coming up. I don't remember any news from this thing.
It already happened.
Oh, was there anything good? I guess we'll find out. Tune in later to the show as myself finds out, along with you, dear listener, what happened during the Xbox partner showcase. I didn't see anything. And last but not least, more Game Pass games. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up,
Brant? Welcome back to the show. I feel like we just did this. Yes, it does feel good to be back. Brant, what's your favorite piece of audio recording software that you've ever used?
Oh gosh, I haven't really messed with too many, I guess. Hey, Craig and all that does make it easy on here, doesn't it?
Super simple. Friend of the show, Joel, and I used to mess around. I don't know if this is like voice software adjacent. Remember when Microsoft Sam came out, like that early AI voice, and you could make it say all sorts of ridiculous stuff? I think it was built into XP, maybe 2000. Was it Microsoft Sam, or was that just the name of the voice that you could pick? Bring back Microsoft. Make him an unlockable in Halo Infinite armor. Just like you did Clippy. My kids showed me Clippy on Minecraft, and they had no reference for that character. I feel like it was Microsoft Sam. Anyways, also joining us this week,
That's what it is.
Microsoft Sam, our resident lore master and soundboard master, Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Hello.
Cesar, any long-term love with software recording?
I was partial to Winamp back in the day.
Oh, yes. There we go. There's the champion. That's the top pick. With the number one pick of the historical musical software draft, Cesar selects Winamp. Some sweet Winamp skins. You would find some good ones and throw in there. A Halo one or a GameCube one. I think I had like a Matrix themed Winamp skin. Didn't they bring that back? Isn't there like a newer version of Winamp, essentially, that you can slap on something?
I don't know.
Like a Windows
I mean, I
Media?
haven't really shopped around for music players like I have in the past. So
Something Winamp adjacent. Let's jump into this news. I think it's going to be light news, and then... What's that?
website's still up. Software's still available.
Winamp is still there. Download Winamp. Let's go.
Winamp players on
Winamp
phone.
9.5.
You guys both.
5.9,
Brand
right.
was looking it up. Cesar was looking it up. We're bringing it back. Your number one Winamp podcast. Do we need to be posting? Is there a Winamp store? Do we need to be publishing this show on some sort of Winamp store?
Probably not.
The number one video game
I don't think
podcast on the
that's more
Winamp
fun
store.
there.
All right, let's dive into this news. Questionable Kirby designs removed. What does that even mean? This comes from VGC.
Just you wait.
Tell us about it, Brant. Oh, I see. Wow, that's extraordinary. It looks like a bat starfish. From Chris Scullion at VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com, Nintendo starts removing player-made Bikini Chef Kirby Air Riders designs as they top the in-game marketplace. One bikini design is currently the most expensive item in the machine market by far. I love a good starfish bikini. The game's Chef Kawasaki character was originally the subject of a meme in Japan, which started in 2020 when a piece of fan art showing him in a small bikini started being shared online. Now, as spotted by Automaton, players have started creating their own bikini Chef Kawasaki designs in the My Machines mode in Kirby Air Riders. My Machine mode lets players collect various stickers and other designs and then apply them to the game's machines. The ability to scale, resize, and rotate these assets means that with some ingenuity, it's possible to create a wider range of designs than the selection suggests. As soon as the game was released, one player uploaded a design which takes the game's standard star-shaped Warp Star machine and turns it into Chef Kawasaki wearing a micro bikini. Japanese Twitter user Sobataki397 noted that the design's price had started rising quickly. Quote, the micro bikini Kawasaki machine pattern in the Air Riders market, everyone thinks it'll get pulled soon, so the price is climbing fast. Pretty funny, pretty steep for the first morning, huh? 6 hours later, the design had been removed. With Twitter user MahuyuXX writing, quote, deleted, I'll never forgive Nintendo, end quote. That is a micro bikini on a Warp Star. Go ahead, Brant.
So, of course,
as you laugh.
Of course, they're not dissuaded. Is of course the article says the best way to make something popular is attempt to get it removed. So another bikini chef, Kawasaki, was designed and put up on the storefront. Had a slightly thicker bikini and gave the character some devil wings and a tail, and just like the last one, quickly became the most expensive machine on the market.
Yeah, it's climbing.
But then, not too short afterward, got removed. But
Kawasaki
again,
bikini.
But now there is yet another design where he's still in a bikini and now holding two cooking pots.
Oh, I see that one too. That was fantastic.
Obviously, this is just going to rinse and repeat. You said starfish bikini. I don't know why somebody hasn't made like the Fred Durst bikini the chocolate starfish or something on here.
That's the reference I was thinking as well. Have you guys played this? How do you unlock the coins or whatever to spend in that market? I don't have a Kirby Air
I think
Rider.
just by doing races. It's all race based.
It's not something you purchase.
Yes, by completing races.
My bad. I meant like buying V-Bucks with real dollars. It's not something you pay for.
No microtransactions.
I got you. I didn't think so.
My copy came in. I have not even unwrapped it, so
I haven't given it a go yet.
No, not yet. Hey, there's some other designs on here too that look pretty interesting. I mean, you've got your standard. There's a lot of Pokemon, but I see like a little Homer Simpson. I see a Splatoon inspired Inkling. I see the Mario Superstar.
Is that Joy from Inside Out on that one? In the bottom right of that image? Is that who that is?
I don't think so. I don't know who that is.
Oh, there's Ditto. Oh, yeah, these are good. The Splatoon one is awesome looking.
Yeah.
The machines.
People get creative, man.
They want a bikini machine.
But apparently the bikini machine is just too sexy.
Back to the GameCube days.
Wants that bikini machine.
How better to honor a GameCube era Nintendo game than to heavily censor and pull off the bikini content, the bikini mod content.
Yep.
Oh boy. Brant, you sent me this Concord one. Tell me about Concord. I'm ready to get both my copies out and get them running.
Well, you'll have to keep dreaming. Because this is a fan group that managed to get Sony's banned game. Well, I don't know banned, but quickly redacted.
Shamed
video game.
Yeah. It's in a weird space. Like the fastest removed game from Marketplace ever.
So this was done by a community project. They spent months to reverse engineer a lot of the game's like back end. So they posted on Discord about the project developers Red Open Wizard had managed to boot the game, load characters, connect with each other, and pull off matchmaking and play through a full Clash Point match.
How did they make it all the way around that?
I don't know. They said after this, of course, is done on all PC. So this is using the PC files of the game.
Yeah.
So after a long time of reverse engineering and server deployment, we just managed to play a match of Concord. This is the match I played with Open Wizard. Don't mind my horrible aim. I spend so much time reverse engineering that I no longer have the time to actually play games.
I mean, and nobody got good at it over 2 weeks either, right?
Trying to skip around in the article. I mean, basically, they got it back up and running, and this prompted some people to go through other means of acquiring the files of the game, because obviously Sony, once they pulled down this game, they refunded everybody that bought it.
So that's right. You're one of those, right? You bought digital and they sent you money back?
Well, in the case of if you bought it on PlayStation and they just yanked it from your account completely.
Yeah.
But if you were to buy it on PC, you'd obviously still have the files, but I mean, you got to think most people would be like, okay, the game's dead. I can't play it anymore.
Doesn't connect.
Just delete.
Right.
Yeah. But obviously these guys kept working on it. and got it going. So people started messing around with it. It got to the point where they started pausing invites for the time being to the Discord server over worry of legal action, because what is it?
There are more people wanting to play this game now than there were when it was actually officially out and launched.
Right. Says, although it doesn't appear that Sony has threatened legal action against the project itself, YouTube videos showing the game running on custom servers have now been hit by DMCA takedowns by MarkScan, which is the digital asset protection firm that issues numerous DMCA strikes on behalf of Sony. So at this point, stuff started getting pulled, and they were like, well, maybe we should just pause for the moment. I can't see them getting in trouble because it doesn't seem like they've provided any illegal files or anything.
They're not selling it. That's simply just
yeah, they're simply just setting up private servers and getting the game back going. But there's always that worry, because at the end of the day, this is Sony's IP. So I guess there's that nagging thing at the back that's like, they could, if they really wanted to, they could push the issue. So
and they ate a shit ton of money reportedly on this one.
Oh my god!
Is there any chance this thing comes back? Like I just started thinking, they're not coming after these people like full time, right? This isn't going to be some crazy, not like the Nintendo leaker or the one developing the MIG cart for the Switch 2 or the Switch. This isn't like the industry shakeup DMCA or anything like that. Is there any way they bring back Concord in some capacity with all that cost that was in there?
Point, I think that's a giant write-off. I think at this point they recalled, they refunded, and now they've put it into their legal gurus and tax professionals to be like, okay, how can we just write this off now as a massive failure? Because
you have all these art assets, you have all this lore you created, you had all these different game types. Can't do anything with that? Like there's no sort of, hey, we know we kind of retreated, we tucked our tail between our legs. Now here's something that's free to play. Here's a different path. Here's the same content, the little videos. And remember, they were going to have like weekly videos for the characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great premise.
I think that would take so much of a rework that it would cost them even more money. And at this point, I don't think they're willing to fill that.
Once that's written off, it's just done. Just a clean cut.
Yeah, they're just. Yeah,
I'm just being hopeful, and these people are hopeful.
It's a tax write-off. They did that with the Batgirl movie, WB. That once they write it off, like a tax write-off, it can never be seen the light of day.
Yeah,
that's
part of the deal,
tax
right?
Fraud at that point.
Yeah, we'll never make money off of this. We agreed to not, but we provided so and so amount of jobs and healthcare and like these other things that were beneficial.
Because, I mean, that's what Warner Brothers did with the last couple of movies they did, right? So they had 2 Looney Tunes films that were going to be tax write-offs. So they had a choice. They can write it off and it never sees the light of day, or they can sub-license it to somebody else. They ended up sub-licensing those movies instead of writing them off. So,
correct me if I'm wrong, too.
I think we are getting that one.
Didn't they do a similar thing with Kingdoms of Amalur? Like there was a whole lot of thing with 38 Studios, like taking taxpayer money from Maryland and stuff. But instead of like totally wiping that thing out and killing it, THQ Nordic picked it up, I think. So we got the reawakening or reimagining or whatever they called that.
I think,
thing.
if I remember correctly, I have to look it up to be certain. I think it went back to the state of Rhode Island and they ended up selling it.
Rhode Island, that's who it was.
Auctioning it off or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that way it wasn't just buried, right?
Yeah, I think they ended up acquiring the IP. I think just, Rhode Island's not a game developer. I have to look it up to be certain. So don't quote me on it.
My favorite game developer, Rhode Island. Look forward to the Rhode Island Direct.
You are correct. They had used taxpayer money to get that development studio there to
Yeah.
help generate jobs and revenue, because at that time gaming was pretty big in that PS3 360 era, and then Maryland had Bethesda, and there's other states in the Northeast. You got 2K Boston that had studios, and they were like, oh yeah, we want a piece of that pie. So
Yep. Was that it? Is that the Concord story?
Yes, sir.
All right. Xbox partner preview. I did not watch this. Maybe I saw some news come out of it. I don't know. This is all. I thought the announcement was for like later in the week or something.
No, it was a rumor going around online for a while, and then they kind of announced it, and then they showed it like the next day or two. It was very rapid.
Yeah.
Okay, these are all
under the radar.
These are all alphabetized, or was this the order of the show?
Not entirely sure.
Strangely, it's alphabetized. I'm like, ooh, what games were in here?
It was another joint venture they did with IGN. I didn't watch it. I think I just looked on like Amatsu and other sites afterwards for the announcement. So
yeah, I saw the Wario thread announcement about the car in 007, the first bit of the story.
I mean, the whole. I think the biggest takeaway from that. I mean, I'll let y'all go through. I mean, where's the list? I can go through real quick. I mean, the biggest takeaway is that all these games that are announced here, I think it's not everything's on Game Pass, but everything is supposed to be Xbox Play Anywhere. So this is the one. These games they shown on here. If you buy it, it's playable on console, PC, and Xbox ROG Ally.
Is that what they're pivoting to essentially? Is that the new day one Game Pass, where everything's on Game Pass in the announcements? Now everything is Play Anywhere. That's their pivot.
Yeah, since they're splitting their hardware base, it makes sense, right?
It does.
So,
it does.
I mean, me and you had that conversation earlier where you're looking at 85 different versions of Final Fantasy 13.
It was so crazy.
You can just play it. You can just do Play Anywhere, and it just works, right? Instead of just like, and you buy one version, like I can only play this on console, and then I got to buy the other one for PC.
But it's not one of those titles, right? You were saying, and that was confusing. It didn't say that anywhere in the descriptions when I was clicking.
The 360 versions are only playable on console, right? And then you have the ones that don't have the 360 logos on there, or the little title bars. Those are your Windows PC versions, and those are just playable on Windows PC base off
and
the Microsoft
not Steam,
store. So
Microsoft store. Playable.
Yep, correct. Steam has their own separate one. I have all 3 copies, so there's 3 separate copies of 13.
Yeah. And
at some point, I acquired all 3 because they were all like $5.99 at some point. So I just ended up buying them all. So I think I ended up buying the Windows version because that was the deal they made with Microsoft. It ran like crap. The Steam version ran better, so I ended up buying the Steam version. Then they ended up patching the Windows version
to basically match the Steam version.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think I've played the PC desktop version. The one to play is the PC desktop version because there is a mod site you can go to and download all the videos redone in 4K and everything, and it's probably the cleanest way of playing it.
You get the full 60 frames per second stuff.
Yeah, I've ran it with the mods. It's not playable on a handheld device because it eats up too much juice. So you definitely need a desktop for that.
Okay, good to know. I was thinking about messing around with it. But I think the Series X version is a good one to play too, right?
Yes, I think it uses their that upconvert or whatever that thing's called. They stopped doing it. Whatever they called it, were that little enhancements they did on the 360 games, or whatever they called it. So.
I loved when they had a new list of those. Those were my favorite news bits to go over. New backwards compatible title or some new tech behind it. Yeah.
That stuff's not happening anymore. I mean, they're trying to make this stuff forwards compatible with what they're doing now. So it's like, which I got a bad feeling is going to end up being like streaming for a while until they find a native way of doing it. Because, like when you hear Sarah Bond talk about it, she's like, yeah, you want to play these games you own. And she always throws out cloud in there and streaming and
there's a way
devices. And I'm like, oh, God.
It's not your preferred way.
Oh, God. It's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. That's what's going to end up happening. I mean, cost-wise, it makes sense, but it's neither here or there. I mean, it's a whole different discussion. So, looking on here that Brant put on through the Xbox Wire through Daniel Hardis, which was the Xbox Wire editor. I don't know if this is the order or not where they were announced, but maybe so. I think you mentioned it looks alphabetical order, which probably not, but we're not going
It's
to worry
absolutely
about that.
alphabetical, but I know they started off with 007. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yeah. So you had 007 First Light, and they did the Aston Martin Valhalla reveal. You know, Aston Martin's always been a iconic Bond car.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming, like I said, I can't speak from experience. Anybody else can jump in. I didn't see any of these trailers, and so as we go through, they did announce another game called Armatus, which is a third-person roguelike shooter from Counterplay Games. Trailer introduces us to a mysterious event known as the Vanishing, which has ended the world. Armatus sees you become a masked warrior, summoned magnificently armed, okay, to defeat demonic horrors wandering the ruins of Paris. So this is also coming out in 2026. This is going to be on Game Pass. And so this is a day one. Game Pass is going to be on through the series consoles, PC, and cloud. You had your surprise and surprisingly addictive Clover Pit, which has gotten a lot of press recently
Clover
about how good
Pit.
it is.
I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, so it's a literally gamble your life type situations. So it's one of those
God.
RNG type games. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's also part of your Game Pass package out of today. They also give some information on the upcoming DLC, and this is playable between Xbox Series, Xbox on PC, which is a name they're going with a lot more nowadays, and then
Xbox on
Cloud.
PC. Okay. I haven't seen that
Yeah.
branding a whole lot. That's going to be the new thing.
I don't think they ever made an official announcement. Just people were noting it because that logo was showing up on new games. So
Makes sense.
I guess this. I mean, yeah, let's go with that.
Xbox on PC.
And you had Crow Sworn, which was a stylus action platformer, blends tight traversal mechanics with fluid combat maneuvers, and they showed some action in that gameplay trailer, which I did not see. There's also another Game Pass. Yep, playable Game Pass Ultimate. I got to remember that they're
5 different tiers.
Kind
The
of
tiers, yeah.
Yeah, because the other one before that, which was Clover Pit, was also on premium. They said they note on here that this is a uncover secrets upgrade, so this is a la Metroidvania. Then you had Dave the Diver plus the Jungle DLC, which is a new DLC which got announced. Dave the Diver's only last holdout for whatever reason was the Xbox. Now it's officially on that day available on Xbox, Series consoles, and Xbox on PC. And then the Jungle DLC arrives early 2026. I don't. I'm looking at this article real quick. Doesn't like it's on Game Pass. So, the Papercraft game that looks like it came out in the 80s, Echo Generation 2, developer Coco Coomber. It's unveiled a sequel to Vox Adventures Echo Generation. Yeah, it's basically what I thought it was. We're welcome inspirations from many beloved 80s and 90s action films, including Gremlins-esque Battle Sidekick.
Yeah. I see a DeLorean in the trailer as soon as it starts. I'm like, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so it's a turn-based combat. I do like the Lego Papercraft art style.
Doesn't look
very unique.
bad at all. I'm watching this trailer. This looks quite good. And this is a good game to release while everybody's talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yes, and this comes out next year, and this is also going to be part of Game Pass. It doesn't say which versions; it just says Xbox Game Pass. Erosion. It's a Western voxel world. When you die, you respawn 10 years later. Interesting. And the time passes, the world around you has changed. Other characters have gotten older, create urgency to find what you're looking for. And that is coming out to basically everything Xbox, including Game Pass. Spring 2026. Then they announced Hitman's World Assassination. Their new elusive target, play free starting December 1st, is Eminem versus Slim Shady. So there's that. Yes, you have to target. Eminem has to target his alter ego, Slim Shady. So I mean, he's more.
Do you kill Slim Shady?
Man.
It's gonna be weird, right? You kill.
I think he's hiring Hitman to do that, to kill the Slim Shady. The real Slim Shady better not stand up.
The final level is like him and a whole bunch of like that factory from the music video where there's a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is we have the Mound, Omen of Tulu, which they're, for whatever reason, everybody's just still trying to make H.P. Lovecraft a thing. Inspired by the inexplicable unrealities of H.P. Lovecraft's original stories, the Mound challenges players to work together and navigate shifting perceptions of reality to survive the horrors and uncover the treasures that lie within. It's a co-op horror game, and that comes out summer of next year, and that's going to be available on the series consoles. Then we had Raji Kaliyuga, which is a sequel.
Oh,
to
yeah. I remember this game.
Raji game that came out last year, but I think I remember reading online. I said this changed perspectives. I think it's like third person now, because the first game they said it was isometric, and now it's fully third person action adventure. So
Okay.
this is a full on sequel. It's coming on everything Xbox. Also, it's going to launch Game Pass on day one. They don't have a date for it yet. 6 years after the original one. Reanimal, which is your spiritual successor to Little Nightmares. I was hoping you'd come in there. But
Yeah,
it just popped in my
yeah.
head. Which is
I was
co-op
like,
horror game.
I saw co-op horror. I'm like, I couldn't remember
My
it all.
bad, Brand. Yeah. I'll put you on the spot. So Little Nightmares 3 went to Sumo Digital, right? It was not developed originally from the original creators here. They decided to make another game, Reanimal, and this is going to be published by THQ. This comes out. They just got the date of February of next year. It's also coming to series consoles, Xbox on PC, Xbox Cloud. This one is not going to be on Game Pass, but I know this is also coming to Switch 2 and PlayStation 5.
I was about to say we saw this somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it was Gamescom or something like that. It was the last big convention. They kind of showed it, and it was like a demo they put out there when that Steam demo week. So I don't know if the demo's still available on Steam, but it was there, part of their demo week or whatever that thing was.
It says here a demo's out for Xbox.
It says there's
now.
a demo. Yeah, there's a demo available today.
There we go. So I think that one is like a lot of people were just disappointed with Little Nightmares 3 because it was if you read the reviews, most people thought it was good, but it was playing it safe. It's kind of like more of 1 and 2. So this one is kind of like changing up the formula. So a lot more people were kind of excited about this that enjoyed those first 2 games. So next up, you had Roadside Research. Why this video cover reminds me of the sadness of playing Stubbs the Zombie, but it does somehow.
Oh god!
But it's like
this one looked kind of weird. So it's like they're aliens, and I guess of course as aliens do, their goal is to take over the world. And what better way to start by being convenience store / gas station attendants?
Like a job simulator, but
humans.
Instead of being a robot, you're a alien trying to be human.
Yeah. So what you're seeing right there on the front is they basically just have a sheet of paper taped to their face and like eye holes cut out, and they draw like a human facial expression on there. And in the trailer, it showed that you can like customize that. It looks very kind of zany, kind of that like very odd and physical humor of games that you'd get out of like what's that, Octodad or Vacation Simulator or any of those, where
Fall Guys,
you're
like
just kind of like bumbling around, like
weirdos.
You're bumbling around. And
yeah.
The whole premise reminds me is like Devil's a part-timer, where he's trying to take over the world through McDonald's. Working part-time through McDonald's, working his way up the ladder.
Cesar, I saw your Xbox One PC at the very end of that.
Management.
Yeah, it comes out Q1 2026. It's going to be on Game Pass Ultimate and your series and Xbox on PC, Xbox Cloud. Next up was the Tides of, I don't know if it's next up, but the next up discussed was Tides of Annihilation, which is that fantasy action adventure game that is inspired by Arthurian legend, which looked really good when I think they did the announcement at Summer Games. It's either Southern Games or Gamescom. I don't know. They're so close to each other. And they're run by Keeley. So
it's like June, August, right?
Yeah. One's in June, the other's in August. So this one is just, I don't think there's a release date yet. They just kind of confirmed it's coming to series consoles, PC, and cloud. No Game Pass announcement for this one. This one you play with the protagonist, Gwendolyn, battling a giant winged entity. I guess they just kind of like showed a new scene from the game, just like an update. Then you had Total Chaos, which was from the creator Turbo Overkill. It's a first-person survival brimming with mysteries to solve and monsters to kill, avoid, scream at. Eerie atmospheric world. You scavenge materials to make weapons and battle horrific monsters. It sounds like a roguelike in some capacity here. This is going to be on series consoles, Xbox on PC, Xbox Cloud, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Then you had
and it's available today.
Yep.
Oh,
That's correct. Thank you, Brian. Well, one of us will have to check that out.
Yeah, I was about to say I just saw that.
So the last two is Vampire Crawlers, which is I don't know if it's like a spin-off of Vampire Survivors or what it's trying to be, but it is basically a first-person deck-building roguelike dungeon crawler brimming with the developer's trademark chaotic approach. So
this looks insane. I was about to say this looks like chaos.
Yeah.
You said chaotic approach. It's like a fever dream. It's like Batten Kaitos meets Phantasy Star, like the first one, or Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah, that's a Etrian Odyssey-ish.
But it's so.
But they have that weird. They have that cool like pixel art in there too.
I mean, that's the premise of that game too. When you play it, Vampire Survivors, it speeds up. So I imagine this is probably gonna be the same thing. It starts out slow, but it speeds up. So
yeah.
This is coming. No release date. It's coming to your Xbox console. Everything Xbox, and including Game Pass Ultimate. And then they just said soon. And then you have Zoopunk, which is a prequel to everybody's favorite Metroidvania, Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch. And this is an early announcement. This is coming in 2027. We already have our first 2027 game.
Damn. Yep. It looks polished, but it looks very Biomutant-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like this. I don't think it's the Metroidvania inspired one right here. I think they move more the third person, if I remember correctly. So it's another game where it's kind of like they're changing the game format, like Raji. So, which is interesting. Which is I kind of dig that, keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Instead of just copy paste.
I didn't see it in this article, but I think they did mention something about how they're about to, I guess, do an update to where they'll have like full picture mode, or I guess full big picture mode or whatever, or windowless gaming like they do on the handhelds for your PC games as well pretty soon. And also what wasn't in this show but kind of slid on to Xbox I think it was today. Silent Hill 2 Remake is now available on Xbox, and it debuts at 50% off. So
that's a great deal.
If you're interested in getting it, no better time to pick it up on your console.
And also it is Xbox Play Anywhere, so it will go across your multiple platforms. So
I saw a really cool clip where on Threads where somebody was using the what do they call it? Quick Resume, Xbox Quick Resume, and they were bouncing between the Silent Hill 2 remake and then the HD collection version of it, like just doing a quick comparison, like running down the hill and then switching over to the other one and doing that in the old version. Just kind of like a quick comparison, and the fact that you could do it with that Quick Resume. Quick Resume's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
And that is your IndieWire show, or whatever the hell that thing was called.
I didn't even know what was happening.
Was it Partner
Showcase?
Partner Showcase, sure. Yeah. Could have been that just website. Just could have been that website.
Partner Direct.
I would argue that all Xbox Directs are Partner Directs. I mean,
probably so. Yep.
What are we getting from the top tier ones anyways? our newest the
Yeah.
house of Halo, Forza, and Gears. We got the newest announcements of those via YouTube for PlayStation. The trifecta. Why would I want an Xbox? It's just Forza, Halo, and Gears. Guess what? I've got good news for you.
And just to reiterate, so if anybody wants to take part in the FSE, what Brian mentioned earlier, you have to be Windows Insider program and you have to be developer mode. So it's not
Publicly available.
It's not a publicly available. So you do take the risk that you could break your computer because developer mode is several versions back where you do a lot of testing on this. So just beware if you switch to developer mode. So because typically I think when you go to developer mode, the only time you have to do a reimage. So to fix stuff, there's no refresh you can do.
So I had to do that with my Chromebook. I tried to sideload something like an unauthorized app on my Chromebook, and I had to go into developer mode, and then that stuck my Chromebook. I couldn't do updates. I couldn't do anything else. I was like, damn, this sucks.
Yeah. So what Brand has mentioned, FSD. Yeah, what Brand mentioned, FSC does not fully get deployed until the newest service pack, which would be next year, right? Which would be 2026 H2 probably. That would be when they push it out for everybody. So it should be spring, is my guess. We missed the October one here, so which was what 25 H2.
So the full like Xbox handheld experience on other handhelds outside of the ROG Xbox version.
Yes, I think they were doing a little bit differently in the handhelds because they were monkeying in the background where they were kind of like pushing it through on certain brands of handhelds. But like what Brand mentioned is if you're in the developer mode, you can even go in FSC mode with your desktop PC. So you can even bypass loading Windows and just go load into the gaming mode. So
convenient.
It's up to you. I mean, most people, I think the tests they run on there online and everything else that I've seen is that if you go in there and disable all your startup apps, it's pretty much what FSC does. So you could just do that. It's
just nuke Windows on that side.
Basically, yeah, just tell it to start nothing up and just start up the Xbox app, and that would be the equivalency of what it's basically doing for now. I'm sure that's going to change in the future as they tailor it, because I mean everything's kind of beta right now, right? Because the whole point is beta testing this whole feature before the new consoles come out, because there's no secret the new consoles. I mean, Tel has already said that it's going to be a hybrid, right? So I mean, you're basically just beta testing for that 2027 console release. So
yeah, I mean, there's an advantage to it. You've talked before about, I was all gung ho on the ROG Ally, like it's so much more powerful, but you have so many more extra things on that Windows side of it, right? You have to update Windows. You have to update the AMD Adrenalin software. You've got the My Asus stuff you have to update. You've got Windows Store updates. If you download Gears on there, Game Pass is great on there. You have a whole nother set of like things you have to update there. You can end up playing, like the joke was when I started reading guides when I got mine to set it up and all these sorts of things, like just play games on it. Don't play Windows. But it's easy to end up playing Windows on that thing. And that's all you do. I mean, and then you start looking at the simplicity of the Steam Deck and the pending Steam machine.
I mean, because they're doing the whole customization, right? They're working on that on the Xbox side. Like if I launch Solitary now, it warns me like, hey, this has not been optimized to run on a portable device. It's like I'm trying to run it on my PC, so I don't know why you're letting me know about this. So
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm like, you're seeing these weird quirky things because they're trying to get caught up to what Steam has been doing with the Proton Pack. So and going through it, I mean that's why that Steam machine is going to be coming out the gate pretty strongly because Valve has been working on that for a while. So
what do you think? So we talked about the Steam hardware announcements last week. What do you think about the Steam machine and the what they call it, Steam Frame, the new VR setup? What do you think about it? And the new controller? What do you think about all the new stuff they announced?
It's very simplistic, right? It works.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Steam Frame is wireless. You get rid of the cables. You don't have to worry about any CPU or anything to power anything, right? You're just wirelessly getting an image from your Steam machine, and it just works. I'm assuming it's going to eventually work on PC as well. Anything through Steam,
and it works independent. It works independent of those other devices too, kind of like an Oculus Quest or something.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, that's what Valve's been doing, right? They've been trying to do simplicity. They're trying to use an open-ended market and make it tailored for people who are used to closed systems. So, I mean, because it's open-ended, it's a PC, right? So people are trying to argue that the Steam Machine's a console, but it's not, right? You can go in there and make it not a console, but it kind of does both, right? So you can,
Mm-hmm.
if that's your thing, you just want to go in there and play games, and if they optimize it properly, which I'm assuming they will, because there's the question back and forth is what either it's not going to be affordable enough. You're going to be in that weird area where you pay maybe a little bit more, you can get a PC, or you can pay a little bit less and get a console. So that's probably my guess of where it's going to be at, some kind of weird middle ground. They used all the surveys that I've submitted for my PC about my comparisons of my hardware to decide on how they want to build their hardware. So, and that's kind of like how they did it. They chose the one everybody uses. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, you have a lot of PC people looking at it like, oh, but I won't be able to run this at 1440p, 120 frames per second. And it's like it's not for you, because I mean, you're gonna want to just get your PC and build it and do it your way. It's not for you.
And they're
So,
looking at their surveys, and that's I don't know their data. That's 2% of the people that fill out the surveys that have that requirement or that have that sort of build. I do them
so
too.
I mean,
Whenever I
it'll
get those
be
hardware surveys, I do them on this machine. I keep letting them know, hey, I'm using this thing. I'm still using this thing.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see on the affordability. A lot of that's going to be just because of pricing on CPUs, the tariffs, and like the rare earth minerals and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff's going up. Data centers is rising the cost of GPUs again. So because of AI and whatnot. So that's why that market's kind of fluctuating. But I mean, I got a good feeling that device is going to be like $800, $900 probably. So it'll be a little bit more than the Pro. It's going to be less than. I mean, you can probably get a PC similar to that, maybe about $1,000, but you do it for ease of convenience, right? You want something on the TV, fire up a PC gaming for the library you already have, and fire it up, and in a perfect world, it should just run with very little issues. So, which I've mentioned on the show before, where I had blown out my ROG and put Steam OS on there, and it runs better, man. It just runs better. You don't get bogged down with the Windows nonsense.
Right.
Because I mean, I've seen people on Twitter when they've come out with the Xbox ROG Ally where they're like, oh, like I just got it, and then now I'm blue screening because I can't play an effing game because it forced me to update Teams. It's like, what do I need Teams in my ROG Xbox Ally? Like I'm never going to launch Teams on there. So I'm like, and of course they're not going to take Teams off because that's a Microsoft. They want you to license that thing. So
Valid.
It's
These
that
are all
weird
valid
middle ground
points.
these are all weird middle grounds that you have to like kind of find a compromise on there. Like, I can't let you get rid of Teams because if you ever use Teams, I need you to have it on there so you can pay for it. But
Yeah.
I need to
Update your PowerPoint.
I need to have a way for people who want to play games to kind of like turn that off. And then, you turn it on when you need it type thing without uninstalling it. So like that's the stuff you're beta testing right now. So, but those Steam machines will be neat, man. I mean, because the whole fact that
I'm excited.
90% of us are. Yeah, I mean, we're all going to buy it. We're going to do emulators on there immediately. So, I mean, you're just going to start running emulation software.
With a hard drive out the back. You don't have to carry that around like the Steam Deck.
Hey, man, that's a viable
legitimate
machine.
backups.
Yeah, that's a totally legitimate.
I'm going to talk about that later.
Right,
yeah, the
play
only
PS2, play PS1 games on there, play PC games that all under the TV makes the life a lot easier, right? So.
That'd do. With that controller too, with those touch inputs, think of what that opens the door for too. So I got to thinking, as it seems like we talk every week, so we end up documenting this stuff, but it seems like that's where this show is pivoting towards. And now friend of the show Buish has a Steam Deck, so that opens that door. It's the weird stuff with the Steam Deck, right? Like it runs almost everything that I want it to. There's nothing where I'm like, man, I need a way more powerful handheld. The Windows stuff is cool. I like messing around with that. I still love the ROG Ally. I think it's a super cool device. And the Xbox One apparently is pretty solid too. And they're selling them. Are they doing well with those?
I mean, they've made calls and said the demand is there for it. So,
yeah.
I mean, of course it is. It's a device, right? I mean,
yeah. I love the handles on it. That grip looks awesome.
It's still this whole thing's still a niche market right now, right? I mean, 'cause, I mean, they've only sold like maybe less than 5 million on the Steam Deck. So I mean, I imagine the ROG Ally probably similar to that. So I
But
mean, I don't think they're at 5 million right now, but I mean, I'm sure they sold quite a few. So
where I got to thinking is the only hang up with the Steam Deck is where you get the weird anti-cheat stuff, right? So
yes,
like they solved this a long time ago with the cross-play and cross-platform and everything. So it doesn't matter where we get Battlefield. Like Brant said he got Battlefield. I'm not concerned whether he got Xbox or PlayStation. I know I can play Battlefield with Brant. So that has unfazed me. But like we would love to be able to get these discounts and get these early, Green Man Gaming will have Battlefield 6 before it comes out for $50 or $45 or whatever it is. And if those things worked, because you can't play Battlefield 6 on Steam Deck, Master Chief Collection, they say there's an update. We still don't know. We're still nervous. Like we need to know that these things are going to work and that those kinks are worked out. And I think that comes with adoption. I think that's a cart and the horse type deal, or chicken and eggs. But I feel like sort of retroactively bad scenarios with like the Wii U and stuff. Well, there's no good software because the hardware hasn't sold. Well, the hardware hasn't sold because the good software is not there. And I'm not saying that's the case with the Steam machine. The Steam machine's going to sell like gangbusters. I think we're all going to grab a Steam machine. But for a lot of these AAA type experiences, Call of Duty, Warzone, we can't play Warzone on the Steam Deck, right? That's one that we like to mess around with and play around with. If they figure out those pieces of it, and I don't know if they're doing that to protect Linux and then people come after Linux after that and start doing all the crazy cheating stuff. I'm not smart enough to understand how that works, but if you open up that,
the issue is the issues with Linux. So
yeah,
that's the reason why anti-cheat sucks. But the problem is that it's not Linux is a little bit more closed system protection wise. Because I mean, you can go in there and tailor it a little bit more differently. It's a lot more security stuff on there that you just can't enable. So it's like it doesn't gel well with Linux, right? So you have to have that software company anti-cheat to make a viable Linux version.
Yeah.
For it to work, they're just not going to do it because there's not a lot of people playing on Linux, right? So at some point, it's like you said, it just all depends when there's a huge crowd for it, it'll work. I mean, the only one that did work for a while was Apex. People found a way around their anti-cheat system, so they made it not playable on Steam Deck anymore. So it's like they had to stop it.
You don't want that to happen.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, you hurt the integrity of the game, right? So because you lose the whole audience.
That's what I want them to fix.
I don't want to play it.
I want them to fix this. If they fix that, man, that thing's a no-brainer.
One day it just all depends. I mean, it's gonna have to start with Valve and something they would have to do with this within the Steam OS that kind of separates it from their Linux build, so that they can kind of just like, all right, when you're in this environment, you can run these anti-cheat games in big picture mode, but you can't do it when you go into desktop mode. So it's all about figuring that part out and not alienating your fan base, because some people prefer the Steam OS because it's way more open than closed windows where you can't go in there and make certain changes and things. So,
man, they figured that out. It's a perfect platform. I'm all in.
Yeah, but it's like Cesar was saying. I mean, right now, unless Valve really incentivizes developers to make sure that anti-cheat works with Linux and that Steam OS, they're going to look at, like Cesar said, there's, maybe should be less than 5 million people using the Steam Deck. And probably not a lot of other people. I've seen like other creators do some crazy things with like old Macs and things like that and turn them into basically like Steam machines.
Yeah.
Dedicated gaming hardware.
Like a reverse Hackintosh.
Yeah, but for the most part, there's probably a very small fraction of people that are actually gaming with Linux and just Steam OS. So they look at that as compared to people actually on PC and maybe
where
the
those resources
small,
and development need to go.
Yeah, the small people on gaming on a Mac for some reason, and go,
Easy,
no, these
Brent.
resources are better spent toward this
Yeah.
rather than focusing on Linux support or Steam support. So
Even though that number, like you start getting that, like the newer iPhones that can play AAA games, and it's like, I don't know. All of a sudden, we got 10 million install base, 100 million install base of these things we've sold.
And that could change depending on how these they start selling these Steam machines like gangbusters.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of hype behind this. Did y'all wish list all three of those things? So fast. All right, let's wrap up this news. I like talking Steam devices though. The Gabe Cube. Cesar, I know you saw the Gabe Cube joke everywhere.
So, from Gamatsu from Sal Romano, Microsoft announced new titles coming to Game Pass in late November and early December. And I'm just going to kind of rattle out this list here. So, you have coming soon is Glubra and the Souls of Limbo, which is going to be cloud console and PC, now with Game Pass Premium. So, some of these are going to be added to the premium service from Ultimate. They just shuffle a lot of these around sometimes. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, which is a game preview game that's coming to PC on Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass, available on day one on Game Pass. So, I mean, this is kind of like a sequel to Moonlighter, which came out maybe a couple years back from indie studio. So they're just doing the whole game or early access game preview. So that's just going to be part of Game Pass. So it's going to, I think it still has our action RPG roguelite setup, but this is just be aware that they're gonna update constantly. They're adding Revenge of the Savage Planet to now available on Game Pass Premium. I'm assuming that's coming from Ultimate. And then you have, and these are all November 19th, which should be available as of 2 days ago. As of yesterday, you had the Crew Motorfest, which is Ubisoft's version of Forza Horizon, poor man's version of it. And then you have a Monsters Are Coming Rockin' Road, which is also coming to handheld and PC, which I'm assuming is bypassing the series consoles. It's another Tower Survivor roguelike. And then in 4 days, November 25th, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It's coming to I don't know, man. I can't, Ultimate Premium and PC Game Pass.
All sorts of things.
Yeah.
Banishers.
This is made
the
by
tears,
Dot
man, the tears, they kill you.
It's made by Dot Nod. It's like one of their story-based games, more of I think third-person action adventure versus point and click. Then you had Kill It With Fire 2 from the very popular Kill It With Fire. This is also coming to Game Pass Ultimate. This coming to Ultimate Premium and PC Game Pass. And this is it looks like you have a full big difference this time is that you're still killing spiders, but you're doing it co-op now. So
yay, the best way to kill spiders.
Probably the big one here will be December 1st. You got Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is the
looking forward.
Side-scrolling beat 'em up. This is coming to Ultimate and PC Game Pass.
Oh, do we try this out? We stream this one?
We can.
Yeah, we can.
December 2nd, you have Lost Records Bloom and Rage. This is also another Dot Nod game, but this is more of their story-based point-and-click adventure type. I think this one's already been available on PlayStation Plus for the last couple months, so don't know if it's still there or not. So, basically, I've played a little bit of it. It's not too bad. I mean, you play a young girl who's gone back to her hometown, that's reconnecting with a lot of her friends from high school who they kind of experience an event similar, and it's very similar to like Stranger Things. They kind of like some kind of sci-fi event that they don't want to talk about, and they all kind of like meet back up years later to kind of air out grievances. And so
sounds like it also.
Yeah. So what I played of it is pretty good. It's like a little bit of mixture of like Stranger Things or Stephen King's It, that type of thing where you go back where it started.
Mhm.
Fight something that's evil. And then you have,
Sounds
in
good.
case you missed it, you have, of course, Black Ops 7. Love it or hate it.
We gotta play this, right? This is like a super controversial campaign. I think we need to play it. Let's all experience it together.
It's no single player. It's kind of forced co-op. It's a lot of caveats in there. I think a lot of people say the campaign has been kind of like a phoned-in thing. They said the multiplayer in zombies is great. I've heard that those are top-notch. Yeah, I'm down. Sure, I still have Game Pass. It's not like I'm dropping $60 or $70 to play with to play the game with y'all. So.
And when is the new Warzone?
All right.
I know you said you're excited to try the new Warzone too. Do you know when that comes out, or did it come out with it?
It typically comes out maybe a month later or something like that. I think that's how it was last year. I'll look that up shortly. Then you have now available. You have Halo Infinite, Operation Infinite, which is their final mode, which I think we need to get back on Infinite and try it out and see how it is. Because I guess this is going to be like, all right, this is it. You're probably not going to see any major updates for Halo Infinite at this point. It'll probably just be soft tweaks until whatever new Halo multiplayer game they're going to come out with.
Yeah, all the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As Brian alluded to, because it's interesting they coming out with the campaigns remastered, but not with the multiplayer. So it seems like my guess is that we can all guess here is that at some point they're going to come out with a separate multiplayer experience, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. But neither here or there. Then you have the Assassin's Creed Mirage Valley of Memory, which is a free update with free DLC that's already out. I think came out like November 20th or something like that. League of Legos, you got to play the new Darkened Champion, Zahin, Revenge of the Savage Planet. You get the Bingo Brawl mode. I'm just going to go over these again. Then you have in-game benefits now available. So you have the First Ascendant Assembly Bundle, Assassin's Creed Mirage Guardian Pack, which looks like it's an extra DLC thing where you go explore and you end up getting a costume and a mount skin depending on the story. And then Brant's favorite part of the show, which is what's leaving Game Pass. Mount skin.
Is that like horse armor?
I'm assuming. Camo armor. So, leaving November 30th.
All leaving. What have we got?
Since Richard's right there, Richard's Game of the Year, Barbie Project, Friendship, Lords of the Fallen, Octopath Traveler 2, and then Steam World Build are all leaving as of November 30th.
The 30th?
That is your Game Pass late November, early December? Like 2 days in early update. So I'm sure we'll get another one.
Also on the topic of games leaving certain paid subscription services, I did see something come across where it was a number of games leaving PlayStation Plus, actually.
Oh.
I'm trying to see. I've got the list here.
I need to find that VR list because I'm tempted to upgrade to premium if there's good VR stuff on there, but I can't really find a definitive. Here's what's on PSVR 2 list.
You're finally deciding to upgrade the premium, and they're taking all VR games.
I know, right? And the kids are all over me on new VR stuff.
So these are, I guess, leaving at the end of this month. We've got Battlefield 2042, Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, Arcade Paradise VR, Sonic Frontiers. That's PS4 and PS5. Forspoken. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. Firefighting Simulator The Squad.
Wait.
PS5.
The Star Wars one is leaving?
Yes.
That's one they want to play.
Oh, I told you I wasn't joking when you're finally trying to jump in there and they're taking out VR games.
Damn it. Yeah, they love that demo. They love that demo. Because you can drop weapons. When you kill enemies, they drop new weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
So what day is it, B-Rant?
It just says they're leaving this month. I'm looking.
Great.
So you have
this is starting it starting January 2026, PS4 games will no longer be a key benefit, so we're going to stop getting PS4 games.
But not necessarily PSVR 2. Oh, I see this article you're talking about now. No, they want to play Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, you've got about another week. And the last two are Surviving Mars and Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Friend of the show, Mark's Knight's one of his top 10 favorite games of all time. Damn it. I need to wish list that Star Wars game so I can get it then. And just get a digital copy. I think it was out for physical very briefly and it's very expensive.
Yeah. But I think that sums up all of our news.
Oh man, it's been on sale for $13. Okay, no big deal. I'll pick it up when it's on sale. The wish list thing works pretty well on PlayStation and Xbox to let you know if you followed something when it's going to be on sale. Yeah, that game's $100 physical. That sucks. I'll wait for the digital one. All right, that's it for news. Thanks for finding that extra little bit. That's pretty important. We need to know when things are being removed from these services we're paying for. Games played and games acquired as we dip into the acquisitions. I mentioned it in the pre-show as far as acquisitions go. We talked about it either last week or 2 weeks ago. Friend of the show, Joel, is shipping us some GameCube memory cards that could potentially have some old content that I was longing for the days of Time Splitters 2 custom maps and modes. And those may be on there. So I'm going to end up, when I get these GameCube memory cards, I'm going to do a stream and fire them up and see what's on there. And as worlds collided, there is a chance that Brant has some content on these memory cards from many years ago.
Possible.
So there's 3 of them coming, maybe 4, I think. So we can pop those in and out and see what's on those memory cards. I played some more Final Fantasy X. There were 2 major events. I finished the Josei Temple. I think I talked about that last week. We are on to the next place, which is Guadal Salam, which is like where Maester Seymour is from, the Guado race of people. And this is the home of the Far Plane, which is like maybe like a heavenly connection where you can see a connection to those who have crossed over, who have been sent. In this universe, in the Final Fantasy X universe. And Maester Seymour's father tried to like come out of the Far Plane, like a heaven thing that you can display. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's worth playing. This game is just moment after moment after moment. This is going to end up being one of my favorite games ever when I'm done with this. But his father, who was part of the last group of successful people to defeat sin, the last pilgrimage that also included Yuna's father, he like tried to come through there, which was a spooky, it's just unnerving. It was a weird unnerving moment of like somebody trying to break through a plane, right? And I'm also like, every member of the party went to this Far Plane thing to like connect with somebody or talk to somebody they had lost. We met Chapu, who is Waka's brother and who Lulu was engaged to, and Lulu had told Waka that Titus kind of looks like Chapu and he's not Chapu, and so there was that whole thing there. Mr. Seymour also proposed to Yuna, so there's some strange developments with that as Titus and her's relationship seems to grow. But she's caught in the middle. She wants to bring hope to the people in this world of Spira, and that can either be by defeating sin or by marrying Maester Seymour, and then it's a big event and distracts people and makes them happy. There's some back and forth there. Now I'm on the lightning plains. So you have to cross this area, and there's lightning rods set across this part of the map. And if you get close to them, the lightning doesn't strike. But if you're working your way across the map, the lightning can strike you. There's an achievement in the later, like the remastered versions of this game, for dodging the lightning bolts. But I think it's also tied to somebody's ultimate weapon in this game, in the PS2 version. But I've dodged like 5 successfully, and then they get me. So I'm like, there's no way I'm making it to 200. It doesn't work. This is not going to happen. That game is awesome, though. I keep taking screenshots of my TV and just like these moments. I talked last week about being in that moonrise section where you're by this river and you see these lily pads and these lights are going off and the sky's going by and it's all this lighting, like it looks like actual sunset, and just what they did with the PS2 and just how great it looks. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving every minute of it. I picked up Riku, my last party member. She's an Albed thief, and Waka does not know she's an Albed. He does not like the Albed people because of their supposed back-turning on the teachings of Yevon by using Machina and that sort of thing. It's this world is just, it's so livable and relevant and believable, and I've connected with these characters and this party so much. I love this game. I don't know if I talked about my speakers before. I had some Bose Companion Series 2 speakers down here connected to my CRT. So I've got everything connected to the CRT, all my systems, and then it does audio out to these bookshelf speakers. They're little like, 6 inches, 7 inches high by 2 or 3 inches wide. But the key thing with these bookshelf speakers is that they're magnetically shielded. You can't just put any bookshelf speaker or desktop speaker by a CRT. It can mess with if it's not magnetically shielded, it can mess with the CRT's magnetic field and you get all sort of distortion. And like when we were all kids, we put a magnet up by the TV, right? Because it made all these colors and stuff, and you didn't know you were harming it. And if you do it quickly and it doesn't stay on there like a speaker would, you're not harming the TV. But I had gotten these because they were so great and I knew they were magnetically shielded. And then 2 weekends ago, as we're playing SingStar, Cesar Beware, we're on a SingStar kick. There's a lot of karaoke going on. This is now a SingStar household.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, there's not. We didn't blow out the speaker because I've heard it mess up before when a friend of the show, Buish, was here playing Dynasty Warriors, 8 months ago. I heard like this crackling sound and it didn't go away. It did for a minute and then it came back for SingStar and it didn't go away. And so I looked up all these videos. I was like, man, I got the perfect set of speakers. I love these. I have no complaints. There's a little headphone port on the front. So if I really want like headphone support, I just plug that in and then I'm sitting here. And this guy has a breakdown where basically they're not easy to repair. It's not a right to repair. Open up this back panel with a Phillips head and resolder this stuff, or check this connection. It just got loose, reconnect it, that sort of thing. He like took a heat gun and like popped off the glue off the back and all sorts of stuff. And I was like, damn it. I've got all these other speakers. I could try them. I don't know if they're magnetically shielded. So I have an older pair of Logitech. I'm actually using a setup on this desk right here, but I never use them because I always have headphones on. It's the Logitech Z313, but this is an older version from what I can tell. And all the research I did, I got conflicting things on everything. It's not magnetically shielded. Don't use them. I tried it. It's fine. And so I went back and forth and I was like, you know what? Mine don't work. I'm going to hook this up and just see if this works, right? I'll put them next to it. I'll move them around. I'll get them all up next to the top of I've got a JVC AV27. I can't remember the last bit of it. CRT. It's got component input. It's got a curved tube. It's beautiful. I love it. It's my ideal CRT. And so I hook it up and I turn on some audio and I'm moving these things all around. I don't see anything. So I'm like, okay, let me like soft set this up. And I set them in place and I play 30, 45 minutes of, that's when I was playing Final Fantasy X and just grinding. Like I was just battling on the Thunder Plains and no distortion. I've got nothing. I don't have any wavering or there's no issues with, I don't need a degauss or it's not messing with the magnetic, field there. So I think I'm totally good. So there's a little bit of hardware stuff there. And that's an older set of Logitech Z313. And this is a slight upgrade, I would say, over the Bose because it's a 2.1 system. This has a sub connected to it. And then I don't know if you guys have seen those Logitech desktop setups, but they have like a little hockey puck control console that comes off of it where the speakers connect that you can turn on and off. You can turn the volume up and down from there. And then it also has a headphone jack. So I'm not losing one of the favorite things I had from that Bose Companion series. I told my spouse that I was experiencing some growth because I can't actually brag about this because I haven't thrown them away yet. But I was like, I'm not going to try to fix these. I'm not going to set them aside and save them for later. I'm going to throw these away. And I have yet to throw them away. But I have no intention to save them or try to repair them or anything. So they're going to go in the trash. I'm going to do it. So some personal growth there. But in the meantime, I've ordered 2 new SingStar discs. We've got SingStar 80s and SingStar Country that has come in. So I have no clue how I did not have SingStar 80s. That one has straight up bangers, start to finish. I think I mentioned to Brant last week, it looks like a Grand Theft Auto Vice City track list. It's god tier 80s music. And then I was looking this week, there's a SingStar Motown for PS3 and PS2 that we did not get here. It's a PAL region only release. And I could not believe how we could not get this awesome Motown collection here. But I guess that's one I'm going to be importing soon for the PlayStation Triple. Games acquired. Some Black Friday specials are starting to show up. What is Black Friday even anymore? Because we can order this stuff like the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, we all remember the days of like rushing out to retail at midnight for specials. And then Cesar and I, that infamous Black Friday where everything went live at like 6 p.m. Thanksgiving. We just sat there on our phones and ordered everything we wanted, locked in everything. Cesar, is that the year we got the Rock Band? Remember, it was like Rock Band 4.
That was one. We got the 3DS or 2DS.
Yeah. We got the 2DS in the store. Nobody wanted those. I just threw the Zelda one in my cart because there were like 20 of them.
Might have been that 3DS one, the new 3DS one that
new 3DS.
came out once.
The $100 one. Yep. God, that was a hell of a purchase. That's the best model 3DS.
Because I think we were talking about, we were playing Blitz or some game, and we're like, all right, we're going to have to figure out what store to go to, and all that stuff was just going live.
Yeah. It popped off.
And then we're like, oh, shit. And we just bought it. It's like, now we don't have to go anywhere. I think we just had to go get a Pioneer Woman.
Pioneer Woman pots and pans. Our annual purchase.
That was required.
Yes, it was. Cesar, I know you and I have talked about this one, but I can't remember exactly. Maybe they're all on here. There's a Ty the Tasmanian Tiger Bush Rescue Bundle from Chrome Studios, and this is a bunch of Ty the Tasmanian.
Yeah, it's like all of them but 3, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, and 4. That was the problem. And they're all on cart except for, well, they're all on cart. You just don't have the 3rd one in here, essentially. Mm-hmm. And the 4th is a new one, I think. Yeah, explore a Ripper new side of the Tasmanian Tiger. I don't know. I like 3D character action platformers. This was $10 on Amazon. This is Red Dead Redemption. I guess it was called Game of the Year Edition on PS3 and 360, but they don't call it that on this one. It's Red Dead Redemption and the Undead Nightmare combo SKU. This is relevant because this game is getting a PS5 upgrade. So pop that in, get new PS5 features, DualSense. Is that out yet? Do you guys know?
December 2nd.
December 2nd. Okay, so very soon. So when I pop it in, then I get the choice to download this version or the PS5 version, essentially, right?
Yep.
Okay, that'll be the way to go. Last but not least, I mentioned this to you guys over the past couple weeks. It took fucking forever to get to me. Yeah, here we go. Brant's already laughing. It came in a hot, I don't know. It put together a box with like, they made up the margins on this thing. I'm not real happy with this. Basically, this is a way to play PlayStation 2 games on a original style model PlayStation 2. It comes with an adapter that will adapt your SATA disk drive to IDE, allowing it to be compatible for the fat PlayStation 2. And you are able to play those backups because we all have extensive PS2 libraries. And we can play those backups on that via, they have a program called Free McBoot. So the memory card also came with that, right? The kicker is, and this is going to end up being a project for all of us, I think, if you guys want to enjoy these already backed up titles that I own, that I think you guys also own and would be entitled to a backup of. onto a 3.5-inch SATA desktop hard drive, right? Newer. They still make these. This is a 3 terabyte model by Hitachi. So here's the kicker when I purchased this. And I didn't pay an exorbitant amount of money, but I also did not pay an insignificant amount of money. I assumed I would get a brand new drive with my purchase. This disk drive, 3 terabyte drive, is from August 2011.
It's new to you.
14 years ago. I'm not pleased with having paid what I paid and getting a 14-year-old drive that is obviously
used car
repurposed from somewhere. So anyways, I'm thinking about getting one of those bays and getting newer, bigger drives and just plunking them in there and copying those over. If you guys want copies of the same backups that I own, that you also own, you may also have access to this, and we'll shift all those over, because that's really what my purchase was to get, was ease and convenience of having access to those and not having to back them up myself.
Yeah.
And
it's a hassle popping all those discs in and out, man.
It is. So
forever.
I compensated them for the time and effort in doing so, right? But I kind of got a half-ass. I haven't hooked it up yet. As soon as I saw the date on there, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just got to put it back. And I was like, I'll talk about this on the show. And I'm not going to kill them on Etsy, I guess, but because they have perfect reviews. But I kind of want to mention, like, I didn't get a new drive with this. I got some repurposed 14-year-old thing at this point, and it just like it took the wind out of my sails.
You don't know how many passes are on that thing, and
you only get so many read writes on these disc platters, and it's just like
that thing could fail at any moment.
When I get a new device like that, and I know you guys are the same way, a new purchase like that, my immediate assumption isn't, oh god, this thing's gonna fucking die, I need to back it up like right now. And that's how I feel. Is that gonna happen? Most likely not, but I've seen these types of drives shit the bed. So I think in your line of work over the years, you've also seen the same. And it's just like, man, really? So
I mean, they're magnetic, they're moving parts. Yeah, they're prone to failure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's any of the stuff, man, because even micro SD cards I've seen fail. I've seen SSDs fail. So
you're right. I need to give them the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead and pop it in, see what everything looks like. But I also need to know, hey, let me get an 8 or 10 terabyte external or something, and just go ahead and copy this one over and back these things up and have these somewhere else just in case.
You can 100% tell them and say, hey, and be like, hey, you should probably put a warning on your page. Like, most people probably don't care, but for the people that do care, be like, hey, these drives are not going to be new.
Yeah.
You're paying for the work and labor. That way people can make an informed decision.
I mean, I saw a 5 terabyte new one for $89.99 on Amazon, I think. So that, I guess cost-wise, that gets you most of the way to, that gets you over half the way to what I paid for everything done. So worst case scenario, I got to get that drive, format it, and copy all this stuff over. There's worse things going on, but just so you guys know, but I do have those backups if they work, and then I'm more than willing to share what I have procured. But those are my games played for this past week and my games acquired.
All right, I'm going to be brief because I don't want to be here all night. Really, I've been playing a lot of stuff, but I'm really just going to talk about the only thing I'm probably putting a majority of my time in is Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake.
Ah.
And
I started that. I want to know what your thoughts are.
I'm at the very end of the game. I'm on chapter 7. I'm getting ready to defeat the Demon Lord. And it's not much left. It's at the very end of the game so far. So this game, like I said, I've never played the original NES one. I've played a little bit of the Switch versions, which were based off the cell phone games. And I never played the Super Nintendo builds on there, so I'm not I can't reference the changes they made on there outside of maybe some translation stuff and the differences in jobs.
Right.
But I think I've purchased the Game Boy Color of this game version of this game when it was called Dragon Warrior maybe years ago. For whatever reason, I've only beaten Dragon Warrior 1. which I enjoyed thoroughly. I never played 2 and 3. I just had it stuck in my head that I had to go sequential order for whatever reason. And then, there is a quadrilogy of games, which is it's not really a quadrilogy, but it's the Edric trilogy, this is what it's based off. I mean, 11 is based off that first 3 games as well.
And this one's actually the prequel to 1 and 2, right?
That is correct. So this 1 and 2 is a much shorter experience. I need to play the new remakes because I know they said they kind of expand upon the stories and added some more to those games and kind of made it a very different experience. Gave the characters more personality. Because I mean, when I played those originally, it was just, I mean, you can tell it was like a early RPG. So I think that's what makes 3 kind of different and special in that regard. Is that this one, I can't speak for 1 and 2. I know for 1 wasn't like this. I can't speak for 2, but I know this one was a very big on job creation. So when you start as the hero, the Yusha, you can name him whatever you want to name him. I think the canonical name is like Roto. So it goes into this whole bit where his father Ortega is tasked with killing. They call it the Archfiend in here, but in the Japanese they call him Mao, but which is the Demon Lord. I don't know why they changed it to Archfiend in American. But you're tasked with killing the Demon Lord on there. So his father leaves and then just never returns, and so you kind of fast forward 16 years. He's of age, and then he goes meets the king, and then he can basically follow in his father's footsteps. He's the new hero for that time to go and kill the Demon Lord or the Archfiend. So at this point, they push you to go to a pub area where you can kind of create your own characters or create your own team. So there's not like a squad of people you can meet where they kind of gravitate to that. And I think Final Fantasy 3 is when they had started getting players like team members with personalities, and you added them to your
canonical
group.
Characters, right?
Yeah. That's some people that you require to work to that kind of expand upon the story. This one you just kind of go create a character mode, and then you can choose a party and class. So they have multiple classes, and I think they added some new ones on here. Like I think Sage is like when you can't get into like level 20, and I think that one's kind of like a combination of priest and mage, which gives you a lot of the major attacks in one class party, which makes it a lot easier. So there's some caveats. So you can create a whole bunch of different characters and kind of take them out on loan and leave them behind. Or you can have them as you go on through the game later on. You'll run into All Trades Abbey, where you're able to change their classes but there's a huge caveat. So like you have to do a level reset. So if you're like level 30 and you change their class to something else, you start back to level 1. But I think so the kicker is what they want you to do is that whatever you learn as a warrior and you change them to a mage, you take all that magic and abilities with you though. So you can kind of make the ultimate character, swapping classes and maxing them out. Because then they would have the whole abilities and spells in their repertoire. So essentially, the game begins out there where you create your characters, create your class, and you can give them personalities. And the personality, depending which personality you get, is very important as well, because that will level them up on their stats. Like it might be more one-sided on wisdom and strength, and there might be some caveats where it'll lower their agility. So there's you can find books that can change your personalities, which can kind of get rid of those nuances. So like there's a one on there that does like a balance upgrade for everybody. That's typically what you would give to your hero or somebody you want to be very powerful in the game. So this game starts out as Alahan, the town there where your mother sends you off. You meet with like I said earlier, you meet with the king. You build your party. You kind of talk around with the townspeople, and they kind of allude to you got to search for the thief's key.
That's as far as I got. I never fought a battle, and I was like, man, this sucks. I want to get in a turn-based battle somewhere.
So at this point, it's kind of like a test. Or I mean, like you're if you look in the world map, it's kind of like it looks like you're in Australia. You can tell this world map's kind of based off of our world because like you have little it looks like North America, South America, Africa. It's like you can tell different regions, and then when they do the English translation, they kind of like tailor like there's different areas on there that are like speak different dialects that are very like Italian, Spanish, French. So I mean that's how they do it. I mean it's kind of like how they do it in Japanese too, because you can hear the Kansai dialect and stuff like that for different ones, which is kind of like their country version of stuff depending on where you go. So it's they kind of try to mimic that. So essentially, you see there's a Dreamer's Tower which you can't cross, like this moat is around it. So you basically have to get into a tunnel and go across there. And this leads to a whole bit where you start meeting like these old sages where they kind of give you a little bit story bits about your father, Ortega, who went missing. And then you unlock these keys, and then basically like the first thief's key takes you to like this huge tunnel that kind of opens up this game and pushes you into the first major like landmass, major world. And then you go to like a Romeria, where you have to meet the king on there, and this is where you start getting like little bits of stories. I don't think they were this detailed in the NES version or the Famicom version, and they kind of expand upon it a little bit better. And so, like each one has like the Romeria one's like a king that, if I remember correctly, somebody took his crown, and you have to look for the magic key because there's like a blue door, and it kind of like they force you to go through like another tower and go through, and you fight this guy who's supposed to be like a Robin Hood type character, but he's just like villainous, who happens to have this key and stole the crown, and like it's like little bits of characteristics in there that's pretty good. Like when you go back to Romeria, the king's like, "Hey, why don't you become king? I don't want to do this. I'd rather just go gamble in the monster arena." And so you can do that, but like it's funny because like when you like, sure, I didn't think it would do anything, but it kind of locks you into being king. Like I can't do anything. It's like I can't even go into the menus. It's like, yeah, you can't do that as king. You can't even
Oh,
leave town. So it's like I have to go back and
dang.
find the old king in the monster arena. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do this, man. You do it again. So you can finally start moving on there. So it has like little quirky stuff like that on there. But they have these little vignettes on here. Like you go to a fairy village and then you meet the fairy queen, and she basically cursed this village next door called Norvik, which they're are asleep all the time because one of their citizens try to run away with her daughter, and and she didn't want them to mix with humans, and they took like a dream tab, and like they're all asleep, and so like you have to go through there, and you go to this underground lake, and you get more bits of the story where like her daughter and her lover, they ended up killing themselves because they couldn't be together, and
Oh,
so like they left behind this letter with the dream tab and stuff on there, and it's like, well, we took this because we figured out it was a way to punishment, and you go back to her mother, and she felt bad that she forced him to do this because she was just trying to separate the racist type situations, and so she gives you this wake up powder to go back and wake everybody up in Norvik Village. So like for example, you run into like those little vignettes in here as you go through, because it's like basically as you go through this game, it's like you can tell like there is definitely some NES stuff in there where it's like when you play the original, it's like, all right, get a key, unlock the next area, get another key, unlock the next area. Go into this next area right here, like Portuga, which is like, oh, which I think is like a Spanish-based one. And he's like, oh, not Spanish. It was Arabic. He's like, I want spices. Can you bring me pepper? And then it's like you have to go through all this little cave and get pepper, and you go back in there. It's like, all right, you got to get the ultimate key. And so like after that, that's probably after you get the ultimate key, it gives you the ability to open up all doorways, so you can go and take these little portals and kind of portal around the different continents from that point on. And then from that point, you have this goddess that's kind of been speaking through you this whole game, and she comes down and tells you like, all right, you need to get these orbs. So you need the orbs to fight the demon lord, and there's 6 of them, and then they kind of like pop up in your map and show you where it's at. And so like this is kind of like if you ask which version that you want to play, then it's a little bit easier. This probably be the one, the remakes would be the one on there because it gives you the map, it shows you the location.
mm.
Like there's a huge circle, like all right, something happens here. It doesn't tell you
Kind of like
exactly
Link to
what
the
it is,
Past. Link to the Past shows you where
but it's
those
like
dungeons are.
so you have that option when you start the game, like hey, don't turn that on or turn it on, because when you play the original NES one, they expect you to go around, talk to NPCs, get story bits, use
Searching.
recall, which is a ability to save conversations. To like, all right, I remember somebody saying something about this. So like that, there's a lot of grinding on there to earn your story. So like this one, you end up gathering the orbs, and each orb is different. So like one, you meet pirates. One is a green orb where like is a city that's been wiped out and destroyed by the demon lord. It's like poison everywhere, and you have to go through this whole bit and go back and go through at nighttime, and you fight all these ghosts. And so like each one of these orbs are being protected by a demon that's kind of been, but the archfiend is kind of assigned to either keep track of or capture themselves. There was one that's like that's similar to like Japan, and it's like you fight a Orochi, which is like a giant dragon snake thing that's turned into an empress that has the purple orb that's eating people in that town.
Ooh.
So it's like each one has their own like little vignettes when you do these little background stories for the getting the orbs. So at the end of the day, you end up going through, I think you get the first 5, and there's like a final silver one, and the silver one gives you more bits of the story. So you find out what happened to his father, like why he disappeared, and some people that was part of his party and why they weren't able to be successful for defeating the demon lord. But once you get that final orb, you basically take this to like a landmass that's south that looks just like Antarctica. You put this in like these pedestals that kind of warm up this giant egg, and they give you like this bird, and this bird gives you the ability to fly around the whole map. It's kind of like their version of an airship, so you can basically have
Oh,
the
cool.
whole world in your hands at that point. And so that at that point gives you the ability to go against the Archfiend, and that's where I'm at right now. So I'm in Baramos, which I think is Archfiend's lair, and that's what I was playing. Because I was leveling up, because unfortunately I did a class change, and I was like, it's kicking my butt right now because you have to start out from 1. I'm slowly climbing back up before I can do this final battle.
Time to
But I'm
grind.
basically at the very, very end of the game. Not the end of the game, I guess, because I think there's some after content on here too, if I remember correctly. If I remember read correctly. So now I'm getting ready to fight the Demon Lord Baramos, and I think there's some like in-game content after that. Probably about another 5 hours. I think that kind of like after you beat him, that changes some of the aspects of this world. There's some stuff I can see on the map that's like covered by clouds that I can't land in yet. So I'm assuming when I beat this, I'll gain access to those areas. But I mean, it's I've enjoyed what I played of it. I mean, it's everything I've talked about. It's about 35 hours right there to get to that point. So I mean, it's probably a good 40-hour game there if you
Yeah.
got time to knock it out. But outside of that, I think the only thing I have not kind of dabbled in is that there is a Monster Hunter arena. So it's something that I think they've added in the third game that wasn't available in the first 2 games, is that you can go around and befriend monsters, and you basically gamble and they fight each other. So he's like, you can collect them, kind of like that's the whole Dragon Quest Monsters thing's kind of like I probably spun off of this part here, because you would go around and find monsters that you're like, hey, go meet this old man, he'll take care of you, and they're like, oh, okay, and they go over there, and if you get 2 of the same kind, they level up and their stats increase, which helps when you do your gambling battles and everything in there. So, but outside of that, I mean, that is hopefully I'll finish that up this weekend. That way I can decide whether or not I want to do Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD remaster, because 3 goes right into 1, and which goes right into 2, and then that goes right into 11. So I don't know if I'm feeling fancy. I might go through the whole thing. We'll see what happens.
How far am I
But
from a battle? I just bought all those first teammates. Like, I'm just waiting to fight. I want to get into a turn-based battle
I mean, if you go outside the town, you can get into a battle.
immediately.
You haven't gone
Okay,
outside the town.
so I was
Yeah,
close
you just
to
haven't
it.
gone to the world map.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the battles are just the atypical Dragon Quest, which is you face a line of characters. You do not see well, I mean, you can see the back of your character sometimes on there. You can control tactics. They typically give you control of the main character, and there's a auto control for everybody else. But you can go in there and change the tactics where you can control everybody independently or nobody at all. And you have the ability to speed up battles as well, which is useful. So
Yeah.
you can do it on ultra speed, which is, like I said, I mean, it doesn't get difficult till later on, because I think there's some bullshit later on in the later dungeons, right before I got to the quest for the demon lord, where I was fighting a lot of people with fucking status bullshit, where I was getting paralyzed or instant death and stuff like that. And it's
Poison,
like, I was like,
confusion.
I wish it was poison and confusion. It was either paralyzed or instant death, like the Womp. Like I'll
Damn.
die instantly. So it was like, which sucks, because they would wipe out a whole squad sometimes. So, but what made it worse was like those maps were all over the place and huge, and required you to do random encounters very often. As far as I can tell, there's not a way to turn off random encounters. I think the GOAT version of that one is if you play the Famicom version with if I remember correctly, I think it's the A version of it. Dragon Quest 3A, where you can press hold down the A button on the second controller and it disables random encounters. And then because it was a debug version, they forgot to patch it out, take it out of the game. So
that's
so
cool
like
that
there's
it's
two
still in
versions of
there
that
though.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they went back and patched it out and did a different version afterwards. So, but that's it. That is my games play, which is Dragon Quest 3 HD remaster. And I'll go ahead and hand this out to Brand. So.
Rampant Key.
Mine will be pretty quick. So earlier this week when we recorded, I talked about two 360 games I got in.
Yes.
The Simpsons game and Amped 3. I of course had to pop those in and make sure they worked. And they do. I played a little bit of both games. And both of them, I'm surprised I skipped these games.
Simpsons game is
Because
good.
these would have been right up my alley in high school. So, but yeah, Amp 3 is, I think I've talked about it last week, where it's your typical, it's very much Tony Hawk Pro Skater-esque. They've got some different like styles and ways to do those tricks by, like, you know, lightly holding the stick, or does like this weird little camera tilt thing, and the story's interesting, and I like all of the different styles that they've used. There was there's a character called Wiener Boy, and like at the very beginning he's like rigged up this whole little gauntlet of things to trick off of, and he's called it Wienerland, and it's all told to you like what he's done and how he's rigged it up by he's got all these little action figures, and he's narrating what all the little action figures are doing and going, you know, down this slope and jumping here, and then grind along the giant wiener and this, that, and the other, and it's crazy, and it's out there. It's a pretty damn good little game. And then the Simpsons game, I mean, it's that like peak old school Simpsons humor. Lots of callbacks. Sort of collectathon-ish. I'd say level based. You play as like two characters at a time, and I think I've just unlocked the main Simpsons. I don't know if you can unlock Maggie, which is the baby. I've unlocked Homer, Marge, and the kids, both Bart and Lisa, and so you can like change out depending on who you need, and each character, like the whole thing is like Bart finds the game manual. The game manual just falls from the sky, and he's flipping through. He's like, "Oh wow, I've got video game powers," and so every character has different abilities, and of course you can use them to, you know, traverse different ways or get around different obstacles in different ways.
Sounds like Donkey Kong 64, swapping out Kongs.
Yep. It's a pretty interesting game. But other than that, that's all I've had time to just kind of dabble and test those games. I haven't really had a lot of time to do anything else, so
We're gonna fire up our copies of Kirby Air Riders.
Oh gosh, yeah,
I don't have it
that'd
yet.
be good. You don't have it, man.
I don't have it yet.
I got mine. Also got my copy of Hades Dos.
Hades.
What did I see? Damn, what did I see today? There was something. Oh, it is that new, the Marvel Cosmic Invasion. The Switch 2. Yeah, the Switch 2 version comes on cart, so everything's on cart. No game key card.
Is that not a live service game?
No.
Oh.
It's a beat 'em up. Side scrolling.
Yeah. We were talking about that. That's right.
Brand, I also got a copy of Baldo, which is supposed to be, looks like a Studio Gilby film.
Oh, you'll have to let me know how that is.
I've never heard of Baldo. All right, gents, is that it for us? As Brant has his pirate-ish-esque cat on his shoulder.
Yeah, he thinks he's a parrot.
He always stays on his shoulder like that?
He's the only one that likes to get up on my shoulder and either stand or just ride around for some reason. He's weird.
Ride around. You can get up and walk around and he stays on your shoulder.
I can get up and walk around and he just stays there.
That's crazy.
I literally have to go. I have to go somewhere and point and tell him get down and lean over and he'll jump.
That's crazy. You don't have to hold on to him. He just stays up there.
Yeah, he just stays.
Got a good center and balance.
What's this one's name? I feel like we've heard all the cat names.
This is
Snowball.
Snowball. Yeah, this is Snowball.
And Richard, remind me, I'll talk about this later because I put a good couple of hours in this too.
Ooh.
Oh, he got it.
Cesar, for the audio listeners, what are we looking at?
Star Wars Outlaws for Switch 2.
I saw it just got another update. Like they keep optimizing the gameplay and stuff on it.
It plays surprisingly well. Looks pretty good too. So.
Oh, damn. Has that dropped for Black Friday? We have a Black Friday special in Star Wars Outlaws yet?
It's $39.
It's either that or he found it secondhand.
39. I've got the PS5. I'm looking at the PS5 copy right now.
So my only caveat, which sucks altogether, is that
all the butts.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a key card game, so I had to download it. It took on the Ethernet connection, it took 45 minutes to download that game. So
jeez,
damn.
How big did it wind up being?
Woof.
75 gigs.
75.
I think it's 110 for PlayStation and Xbox. I think they pressed it down to 75 on the.
Yeah.
Cesar, what did I just see? Was that Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is 90 to 95 gigs?
110 or something like that, 105 or something.
It's bigger than what I remember seeing on there. I was like, holy shit. It's the majority of a memory card here. If you got one of the express cards.
Yep.
Before we let people go, what's our Saturday game? What are we going to try to get into tomorrow? Oh, I'm going to a party.
Oh no.
I may be out again.
Well,
Saturday night keeps screwing me.
Well, that would put out Firebreak. I know we wanted to retry that.
I do want to try it.
Now we can.
I don't know.
I mean, if we still has Game Pass currently.
Yeah, he might still have Game Pass.
I think he does. Last time I talked to him about it, and he still had it. So maybe I'll take a crack at that.
Yeah, we might get into that.
Yeah. Let me know if you stream it. And make sure you like and follow, subscribe, and do all the things, and then you'll know if they're streaming it. We'll all know together. Is that it for us this week, gents?
That's it.
Are we going to be off next week for the holidays? I don't want to throw people off and they're expecting.
Good question.
We usually take this next week off, correct?
I prefer to, yeah.
Yeah, same.
I mean, typically
we don't have time to rush around trying to get something.
The Black Friday. Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
The holidays and everything else going on.
If we end up bored, weather's bad and we're all stuck at home and, some crazy event happens and Steam hardware or something and you guys want to throw down and discuss something, but I think we'll probably take next week off for the holidays.
I would just rather play a game or something like that.
Yeah.
I was about to say we'd be more likely to just stream a game.
Absolutely. An analog 3D is supposed to arrive in my household this weekend, so might be able to stream some of that.
Don't forget everybody claim your PS5 versions of PUBG. I did and downloaded and installed it. So.
The new ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're out.
Yeah, they came out about 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay. Maybe we look at that. Maybe we dip back into PUBG. I'm not opposed. That was our game of the year for 2 straight years. We played that shit nonstop.
Yeah, I remember when they came out with that list. That game is optimized pretty well on the series consoles too. So
okay, So it's a win across the board.
Mm.
All right. That's a good tip. Add the new PUBG. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you in 2 weeks. Bye.
See you.
Adios.